We see everybody on the internet talking about if DDP doesn't get finished in the first round, it's going to be hard for Khamzat. And they said that if Khamzat can obviously win, he's going to win in the first round. Me personally, I think Khamzat could kill him in any round. I think Khamzat's the most explosive fighter in the UFC.
But against DDP, like DDP is like Khamzat's big, right? Khamzat's big. DDP's my size. You seen the picture of him in Bisping? Bisping's a big dude. DDP dwarfs big. DDP is walks around about 240. DDP's huge. So for Khamzat, it's gonna be dealing with that mass. That's why, to me, like this is such a good fight.
Darren Till believes that Khamzat Chimaev will stop Dricus Du Plessis before the fight hits the championship rounds.
A few moments ago, you and Khamzat Chimaev, you guys ran into each other. He came up to you. What'd you make of that? What'd you see when you looked in his eyes?
Yeah, I saw him. I mean, there was nothing but respect. I mean, he said to me that he's happy that I'm healthy and ready to go. And I said to him right back at you. I mean, you know, it doesn't always have to be that hostile, but when the cage door closes, I'm in there to kill him.
The former middleweight contender, who has shared training sessions with Chimaev and knows Du Plessis well after facing him in the octagon, believes the fight won't make it to the later rounds. According to Till, Chimaev's power and aggression will be too much for Du Plessis, and he sees the fight ending by the third round, potentially with a knockout on the feet. Till's prediction comes from his experience training alongside.
Taking it down, mate, I just see it like everyone else sees it a little bit, but I see it in a different light. Dricus for me, yeah, that awkwardness is what gets him to win fight, but that's not only the only factor with Dricus. I feel like Dricus is a little bit like Paddy. I feel like sometimes people have tried to like undermine Paddy's because like his striking might not be as crisp, and it's the same with Dricus. But this is the art of MMA, so we're putting all the arts together. So Paddy and Dricus, I feel like they're a bit of the same. They put the strikes together to get the takedown, and obviously Paddy's grappling's really good, and Dricus has got good ground as well. So I just feel like that works for the type of fighter they are. Whereas Khamzat, if we were to break him down, he's a pure grappler, and to be honest, he does have power on the feet. So I think I think for Khamzat with a win on the feet, and if it's to get it to the floor, because I feel like in the first 2 rounds, Dricus is gonna be really powerful. So if the sub doesn't come, Khamzat's got to lay off the pedal a little bit and start being smart, like on the feet and stuff like that, like trying to like sort of, you know, like. What's the word? Stalk him.
Chimaev, who has impressed Till with his striking, specifically his left hand. Till, who has been on the receiving end of that punch himself, is convinced that Chimaev's striking ability is highly underrated. Even though some have underestimated Du Plessis in the past, Till points out that the South African is one of the best teams behind him, which helps him strategize against his opponents. Still, Till backs Chimaev to overpower Du Plessis, citing his friend's relentless pace and versatility in the cage.
People can, I've given him shit. I've said like he's the best shittest fighter ever, but his team are very strategic. And even you seen when I was comparing him and Paddy. Paddy's got a great team behind him in terms of strategies. So it's not only about when you're coming in or when you say like, oh, Paddy's just got grappling, Dricus has just got like strength. They've got a team behind them that are strategizing for them opponents, and that's ultimately sometimes what makes the difference in these fights. So. Dricus he's got a hell of a chance, but you know me, I'm Team Khamzat, and I've trained him, and I don't see past 3 rounds of Khamzat. I reckon he can knock him out on the feet as well. I really do. He's got a solid left hand. I've been on the receiving end a few times, but his grappling and the people he's training with, and he's got Arman. As I trained with Arman in Thailand, and Arman for me, I'm a fan of Arman. Like he's a phenomenal athlete himself. So. I'm third round Khamzat, me.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, can I ask you? You said 1 fight left with Misfits. You think you'll re-sign? Are you happy with them?
I think they're going to offer me too much money to not be signed. They love me.
Interestingly, Israel Adesanya also weighed in on the fight, and his take is somewhat different. Adesanya sees 2 possible scenarios. Chimaev dominates early, taking control of the fight, and finishing Du Plessis in the first or second round. Alternatively, Adesanya believes that Du Plessis could weather the storm, match Chimaev's intensity, and drag him into the later rounds. If the fight does make it into the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, Adesanya believes Du Plessis has the advantage, ultimately finishing Chimaev with a TKO.
That's how I see this fight going. Khamzat, fast starter. He's going to come in. He's not even going to touch gloves. Just boom, shoot straight away. Almost instantly, he's going to shoot. Almost instantly. Within the first minute, he's going to shoot. DDP will keep his distance. He'll use long-range weapons like kicks, like his front leg side kick. Try and use his jab. But Khamzat's just going to be chaos from the get-go. He's just going to shoot, try and grab him and take him down. And just try and just violently attack him.
What improvements did you see from that last outing?
His jab. That's the first thing I can remember. His jab.
But in general,
he
looked
looked
sharp,
good. He looked sharper, less clumsy.
Yeah.
He looked more under his like his feet was under him, less falling over his shots. But just look, this guy just doesn't quit. There's a method to his madness. It's awkward, but it's all systematic for him. Yeah, Khamzat, from what you've already said, he showed his hand. He's gonna go after him from the get-go. But DDP, I think, can weather the storm and probably finish Khamzat later on. Because Khamzat, if it gets to round 3, 4, 5, it's gonna be a problem. It probably won't get to round 5. I say round 3 or 4, DDP. But if Khamzat's gonna win, it's gonna be in the first round. It's gonna be impressive. It's gonna be like spectacular. It's gonna be violent. But yeah, I'm gonna go with DDP. Look, I still think we need him in the UFC. It's good if he's champion. The UFC probably wants Khamzat to be champion because he is a guy that brings a lot of eyes. He's the, like, says it, gets it done type shit. But I like having DDP as the champion because I think it's still inspiring to, you know, a lot of Africans, especially South Africans as well. Like the way me and Kamaru and Francis did for, you know, the continent as the Three Kings. He can do that now solely as the African champion in the UFC. So yeah, I think he'll get it done. I think he's just stubborn. I'm gonna go Dricus by late TKO.
Adesanya's analysis highlights a key point in the matchup. Chimaev's stamina has been questioned before. The Swedish powerhouse has struggled in past fights when things stretched into the later rounds. This was particularly evident during his battles with Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, where he looked vulnerable after the third round. In contrast, Du Plessis has proven his ability to go deep into fights, maintaining a high pace throughout the entire 5 rounds. Adesanya believes this experience could give Du Plessis the edge if the fight extends beyond 3 rounds.
When we look at this fight, I think everyone expects round 1 to be crazy, right? You come out very aggressive, he's going to try and meet you. Do you expect the same thing? Do you think, hey, I'm just going to come out here and put it on him right away?
I don't know. We'll see in the cage, bro. So it's too early to think about these things when I see his face.
For his part, Du Plessis has expressed confidence in his ability to endure the kind of relentless pace Chimaev is known for. He points to his past victories over top middleweights like Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya as proof that his gas tank is second to none. Du Plessis doesn't believe that Chimaev has the endurance to keep up once the fight enters the championship rounds, and he plans to make the most of that. In fact, he openly admitted that Chimaev hasn't faced the kind of sustained pace that he himself can handle. This could be a huge factor, as Chimaev has looked less effective when forced to go deep into the fight, especially when his opponent can match his aggression and push back against it.
I think it's going to be as electrifying as people think, and I'm even looking forward to seeing how this plays out. You know, am I getting this to the ground, getting that finish there? Because how sweet would that submission be? Somebody's going to make a lot of money. And, you know, is this fight going to be standing? You see this so many times, where you, especially when you have 2 guys that love to grapple, they keep it standing. And it's going to be very interesting to see where this fight takes place. And that plays a big role. For me, I am ready to go out there, and if this fight is only on the ground, so be it. Let's go for it. If this fight's only in the clinch, let's go for it. And if this fight is just an all-out brawl in the middle of the octagon, please, let's go for that.
Du Plessis isn't concerned about facing Chimaev's wrestling either. Although Chimaev's grappling has been a major weapon in his UFC career, Du Plessis believes that his own grappling skills and ability to scramble will allow him to neutralize Chimaev's takedowns. He believes that even if Chimaev does take him down, he'll be able to get back up and continue fighting. This kind of mental toughness is something Du Plessis prides himself on, and he's not afraid to take the fight into the deep waters, where he believes he'll have the advantage.
Khamzat's kind of shut down the activity rumors. He says, look, if I win this fight, I would like to fight in Abu Dhabi, but say it doesn't go his way. Do you think that his activity slows down and we don't see him again for a long time?
That's a very good question. There's no way. Abu Dhabi is like in October, right? No, that's not happening. Yeah, I think after Saturday night, it's going to be time to go and maybe do some introspection, saying, okay, how are we approaching this? Because I don't know where he's at on a mental level. You know, he's so certain that he's becoming world champion, and I'm here to say no. There's no way you're becoming world champion while I'm the champion. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it's always, I've tasted my first loss. I know what it feels like. It sucks. It really sucks. But that's where character comes in. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets up from this.
Interestingly, Arman Tsarukyan, who has trained with Chimaev ahead of this fight, shared an insight into the Chechen's training. According to Tsarukyan, Chimaev has been dominating every sparring session, breaking down his training partners with his relentless pressure and top-level grappling. Tsarukyan noted that Chimaev's conditioning is on point, and he is in the best shape of his career. This is certainly a good sign for Chimaev fans who are concerned about his stamina in the later rounds. Tsarukyan's remarks also suggest that Chimaev is not just physically prepared, but mentally ready to take on the challenges that come with a title fight.
Without giving anything away, of course, what is a good strategy Khamzat is looking at in terms of going at Dricus?
He does every fight the almost same things, and he's not gonna change anything. DDP thinks that Khamzat not gonna take him down.
He said he'll give him. I saw on Twitter, Dricus said he'll give him 10,000 for every time he's able to take him down.
If he's really thinks like he's gonna pay his 10,000, he's not gonna make money from that fight. He's gotta give all his money to Khamzat.
Despite the intensity of his training, some observers believe that Chimaev's best chance of winning comes early in the fight, before Du Plessis can settle into a rhythm. If Chimaev can overwhelm Du Plessis in the first couple of rounds, his chances of securing a victory increase dramatically. However, if the fight goes deeper than that, especially past the third round, the advantage may shift to Du Plessis, whose experience in 5-round battles could prove crucial.
Talk to me about that main event, DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev.
I just don't get why Du Plessis has achieved so much, because and again I say it sounds like I keep saying it. Sometimes you can spar some, like new guys in the gym, just like they don't have the experience, but they hit you because they do some crazy stuff. They can wing their hands and just do random stuff, and it lands because it's not a conventional punch or it's not a conventional kick. That's what Du Plessis represents for me, but at the highest level. But one thing he does exceptionally well is he knows how to grind out a win. He seems to find his way to success. I'm telling everybody, this will be the last time I bet against him. If he beats Khamzat, I'm never betting against him ever again. Like, I'm literally ever again. I don't care if you lot are telling me he's going to be fighting John Jones.
Rampage Jackson also shared his take on the upcoming fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, praising Chimaev's intense work ethic. Jackson, who has trained with the best, including John Jones, described Chimaev as a beast in the gym, noting that his training intensity is on another level. He compared Chimaev's mental toughness and dedication to Michael Bisping, not for their fighting styles, but for their unwavering commitment to training.
One person who's training inside the gym is Khamzat Chimaev. Compared to all the bodies you've seen come through the gym, where does he stack up?
Man, he's one of the best. We had Khalil Browntree coming there. He's a beast as well. You got what's his name? In Lukin. What's his name? Arman and Lukin.
Arman Tsarukyan.
God damn it, I mess up everybody's name. Arman Tsarukyan.
Tsarukyan.
Yeah, he's a beast too. Yeah, but Khamzat, man, he a beast, man. I saw him for a couple of seconds over there, man. He was murking people.
However, Jackson also believes that Du Plessis is a serious threat to Chimaev. He highlighted Du Plessis' mentality, describing him as a fighter who doesn't back down from adversity, like a truck charging through a wall. Jackson pointed out that Du Plessis needs to meet Chimaev's aggression head-on and impose his own pace in order to disrupt Chimaev's rhythm, which is built in overwhelming opponents early.
No, he's a different animal, but his work ethic reminds me of Michael Bisping, though. Yeah, Michael Bisping was always an animal in the gym. That's why I love training with that kid.
Some experts, including Du Plessis' training partner, Mark Hume, are predicting that Du Plessis could finish Chimaev in the first round, potentially via a guillotine choke. Hume, who has sparred with Du Plessis, believes that the South African's aggression and pressure could overwhelm Chimaev early on, leading to a quick finish. Du Plessis' ability to fight under pressure and maintain his composure could be key to taking down Chimaev.
I mean, it's no secret, things get intense. When I believe, I wish I could remember what fight it was. Might have been the one before Whittaker. And we were doing supposed to be technical sparring rounds in the PI. And just everyone was stopping and looking and oh, these guys crazy. They're going at that pace, at that intensity, so close to the fight. And it's motivating to know that, you know, like a world champion chose me to be there with him.
Yeah, it's amazing. And obviously he's got this huge fight coming up with Khamzat Chimaev, just like you have a big fight coming up. What's your prediction for his fight with Chimaev?
I've called it a few times, under 3. Ricky gets it done under 3. I wouldn't be surprised if a guillotine lands in the first. That would be like next level, but under 3.
Marcus McGee believes that Khamzat Chimaev must secure a finish in the first or second round to win. He views Du Plessis as a tough opponent who can withstand pressure and grow stronger as the fight progresses.
Oh man, you know, I feel like Dricus is the type of guy that can nullify a lot of things that Khamzat brings. I think that if Khamzat's going to get it done, it's going to be in the first or second round, and I do think he needs a finish to do that. I see if it goes to third and fourth and fifth round, I feel like Du Plessis has that type of skill, durability, and just the physicality to be able to put up with the things that Khamzat will be able to give to him. So, man, hands up again, but I'm leaning towards Du Plessis.
Terrence McKenna is picking Chimaev for a quick finish. McKenna believes that Chimaev's conditioning and ability to avoid a difficult weight cut will play a major role in his success. He predicts a fast-paced, aggressive approach from Chimaev that will lead to an early finish, sending a message to the rest of the UFC.
It's just hard to go against Dricus, but Khamzat, I've never seen a human being just break someone's jaw like that, have the teeth coming out. I'm gonna have to go with Khamzat for that one. He's young, he's hungry, and the dude's not cutting weight, and he's as powerful as ever.
Then there's Gilbert Burns, who has fought Chimaev. Burns shared his thoughts on the matchup and predicted that Chimaev will control the early rounds but ultimately face a difficult challenge from Du Plessis. Burns pointed out that Du Plessis is not the type of fighter to back down from adversity, and if the fight does extend into the later rounds, he sees Du Plessis having the edge. Burns also emphasized that Du Plessis' experience in longer 5-round fights could be the deciding factor. Burns predicted that Du Plessis would eventually get the finish in the third or fourth round, despite Chimaev's early success.
Official prediction: Khamzat Chimaev is -200 on Legends to beat Dricus Du Plessis. Moicano, who's your official pick here?
I will say Dricus Du Plessis.
I know Gilbert's rooting for DDP, but do you think he's gonna pull it off?
When I look at the fight, that guy gets so freaking tired. He's that one speed fighter. He's gonna come like a freaking truck at you. I do believe he might take Dricus down. I don't think he's gonna get finished. I do believe Dricus is gonna fight through all that. Maybe a decision, but I do believe a late finish, third to fourth round. That's my prediction.
As the UFC 319 event approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher for both Chimaev and Du Plessis. While Chimaev is widely regarded as one of the most dangerous fighters in the division, questions surrounding his stamina and ability to fight beyond 3 rounds remain. On the other hand, Du Plessis' durability and experience in long, grueling fights could give him the upper hand if he can survive the early onslaught. Both fighters bring unique skills to the table, making this a fight that fans are eagerly anticipating.